Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to recommend a speech. Actually, I have 3 speeches in mind to recommend, speeches that are worth watching. However, I think I'm definitely going to go over time because I will not only summarize the content, but I'll also give my own comments, my interpretation of the ideas. Therefore, I decided to split them into 3 separate videos and I will talk about one at a time. The first one is Steve Jobs' commencement speech at Stanford University in 2005. It was inspirational, thought-provoking, and very constructive. Well, I watched this speech by chance because it appeared in my YouTube recommendation. And after I watched it for the first time, I immediately saved it to my folder because I'm sure I'm going to rewatch it for I don't know how many times in the future. So basically, he told 3 stories, 3 essential life stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. Well, it sounds a little bit abstract, but let me explain. First of all, a little bit about his background information. He was not raised by his biological parents. Instead, he was adopted, and he never got a college degree because the college he got admitted was really expensive, and he didn't want to put extra burden on his parents. So he dropped out. However, dropping out didn't prevent him from learning. On the other hand, dropping out actually gave him the chance to pursue his true intellectual curiosity. He no longer needed to take the required normal classes. He could take whatever he wants based on his own interest. And during that period of time, he took a calligraphy class, which could be counted as a very important dot on his life trajectory because he learned numerous beautiful typefaces and he later on incorporated all of them into the design of the Apple products. He didn't take that class on purpose, but the experience, the knowledge he gained eventually yielded substantial outcome. And that is what he said. It is impossible to connect the dots looking forward, but it is very clear when looking backwards. Well, take my own experience. I never expected to become an Abdul, to talk and film videos like this. However, I did have experience of doing some radio station and podcasting thing during junior high school time. And I also hosted the New Year's party, 元旦晚会, almost every single year since primary school. And other things like 国旗下的讲话, 升旗仪式. And at this current stage, when I look back, I guess the experience of speaking in front of the public, in front of people, and organizing my words in an unprepared state was paving the way for me to talk in front of the camera and speak to a virtual group of audience. So yeah, those dots somehow connected and they were totally out of my expectation. And Jobs highlighted you have to trust in your gut, in your destiny, in your karma, and whatever, because that would give you the confidence to pursue whatever you're passionate about. His second story was about love and loss. Well, fun fact, a founder of a company got fired from the company he founded. Yes, he got fired from Apple for once because the visions of his partner and him diverged and there was a falling out eventually. Yes, he got rejected. And the most devastating of this rejection was it was a public failure. It took far more courage to start everything over by knowing you have succeeded in the past. However, the past has already gone. But he said, although he has been rejected, he was still in love. He started doing other businesses and companies like Pixar, which grew into another big giant eventually. I really respect his perseverance and his passion, as he said, keep looking, don't settle. And the third story was about death. Well, this was a little bit heavy. He was previously diagnosed with cancer. There was a tumor on his pancreas. And yes, death is life's change agent. Your values, the things you cherish, your passion would never become so apparent if you don't get so close to death. And knowing that death is the destiny for everyone would motivate you to follow your heart, to discard other people's thinking, and to try to free yourself from the dogma. And the last sentence of his speech was, stay hungry, stay foolish. And this concludes this video. I will attach the link to this video in the description. Actually, I watched it on YouTube and I also found it on Bilibili. So in case you don't have access to YouTube, you can easily and conveniently watch it on Bilibili. And if you're interested in my 2 other speech recommendations, please stay tuned. Lastly, please 一键3连. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hey guys, in today's video, I would like to share some personal anecdotes, some stories that happened to me in the past year. Because if you follow along, I'm graduating recently and I'm kind of in the mood of doing some retrospection and see what could capture the entire journey of studying abroad experience. The first story is about homesickness or your attachment to home and your family. So this is a very common theme for people who go to a different city either for work or for study. But the special thing about studying abroad is it extends the distance either physically or mentally between you and your family. You have to consider time difference. You really need to figure out a time that works both for you and your family to communicate. And there are many other concerns like visa and your flight ticket, so it's just not convenient to go back home. So sometimes going back home is not an option, it's whether you could or you couldn't. And me personally, my homesickness is pretty manageable. I'm very used to being alone and living on my own. Nevertheless, there was one occasion that really struck me and made me realize homesickness did exist. I talked about this in my previous videos as well. During spring break, I went to my friend's home. She is an American. So one night we were watching a movie together. While I lied down on their couch, a feeling of comfortableness exploded throughout. I realized I haven't been feeling so relaxed for a while. It was like an aha moment for me. And you could discard all the anxiety, all the pressure, and just lie down and entertain yourself. So the feeling of being at home, being protected, the sense of security is really magical. And it is vivid when you get the chance to experience that. And the second story is about how you manage your emotion and your mental state. I remember very clearly it was a Wednesday. I was miserably sad after going through some difficulties. And as I walked back to my apartment, I saw a girl crying on the stairs at a crossing. And because I was in the same mood, I could relate to her emotions extremely. My empathy for that girl reached the climax, and I was debating if I needed to say something and ask her. And after hesitating for a while, I approached her and asked her, "Are you okay?" And she suddenly burst into tears. And I was like, "Oh, it's okay, I know. And she told me afterwards that she was a midwife and her patient died because of some reason, so she felt very sorry. So the point I would like to highlight here is, yes, you get support, you get people who stand by your side, but at the end of the day, you are the person who could give you the strongest support. And as young adults, as we go through the stages of becoming more mature, we really need to learn how to take care of our physical and mental well-being. And the third story is about security or safety. If you know the background information, there are numerous homeless people in the US, especially in the downtown areas. One day I was walking to a bus station, and as I approached the bus stop, there was a homeless who jumped out of the chair and tried to chase after me. She was even pretending she was going to beat me and even started to curse me. My interpretation was she was trying to scare me away and protect her territory at the bus station. Anyways, I was intimidated and I ran away. And there was a young couple who was driving to catch me up. They lowered the car window and asked me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was clueless in the beginning, but then I realized they were asking me if I felt safe. The guy said, "Oh, I was going to get out of the car and beat her," who is the psychopath, I would say. So yeah, I still remember their kindness. I felt very lucky. I felt very grateful. And the point is, safety is always the priority of any sort. You need physical security, mental security, financial security, security of any kind. And if you are in a foreign environment with more uncertainties, more like unpredictabilities, you really need to train your ability to protect yourself. Yeah, I think those three stories could cover most aspects of studying abroad experience, and if I come up with more, I would like to share in my future videos. Alright, this is the end of today's video. If you like it, please 一键三连, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hey guys, I posted a video of me reading some script, and I saw a bullet curtain that said, "UP主是故意念错给我们增加信息的." Well, first quickly respond to that 弹幕. I didn't do that on purpose. I just made that mistake. And that also reminded me that I haven't really talked about my entire learning trajectory. So here it is. Well, back in the high school period, English was actually the most difficult subject for me because since then, I've made the decision to study abroad for college. And transitioning from learning middle school English to studying for standardized tests, including TOEFL and SAT, was a huge leap for me, and that transition was not smooth at all. It took me an entire term to get used to English classes that were completely taught in English, and I think an entire year to finally be able to pick up something from the TOEFL listening materials. And another hardship was that I was not super into Western cultures, so I was not a big fan of English TV dramas, and I didn't even know VPN. I didn't know YouTube videos, and the TOEFL listening material was somehow boring, and that's why I was not mentally motivated, and I didn't get enough valuable learning materials. And then I went to college. I was expecting a big enhancement on my English skill or level by taking advantage of this language environment. However, COVID happened. I was literally taking remote classes half of my entire college life. Yeah, no language environment during that period. Well, although I think I'm still privileged in some ways, and I still feel grateful about the opportunities I got, my English learning experience was not a linear path. There were definitely many bumps along the way, and a lot of ups and downs. I think in most cases, there were downs. But you might still think, oh, you look pretty good right now. You're able to make videos in English. You're an English aptual. Well, first thing first, thank you for constructing such a positive image of me in your mind, and I would like to give an objective evaluation on my current English level / skills. First of all, I think the biggest reason why you think my English is good is my pronunciation. And my explanation is rather simple. I just care about pronunciation. I care about my pronunciation no matter what language I'm speaking in. It's like I care a lot about my pronunciation when I speak Mandarin Chinese as well. And that's why I learned the phonetic alphabet very carefully. And thanks to my middle school English teacher, she did a really good job in teaching us phonetic alphabet. Second, accent. Well, I speak an American accent simply because I think it sounds really melodious. And I'm that type of person who is easily influenced by the surrounding, by the environment. So I would be able to pick up accent fairly quickly. And I think it's indeed really fun and interesting to learn accents. I would like to learn more Chinese accents sometime in the future as well. With that being said, I know some people who do not care pronunciation or accent as much as I do, so long as they are able to make themselves understood. Well, I think this is a totally legit statement. Sometimes it's the content that matters. It's not the audio vehicle that delivers the content. And third, vocabulary. Well, I don't dare to say I have a huge vocabulary. As you can see, as many people comment on my video, you find it easy to understand what I'm saying because I use relatively simple words. I use the most frequently used words in daily life. And another thing about vocabulary is being able to recognize words or knowing its meaning is completely different from being able to incorporate those vocabulary into your speaking and writing. I think there's a lot to say about that topic, so I would make a video later regarding that topic. The next big point is the ability to think in English or an English mind. Quick answer, I don't have such a thing. I have a Chinese mind. Chinese is hands down 100% without doubt the most comfortable language for me. That is my native language. I was raised in such a language environment. And yeah, currently I'm trying to make my expressions as native as possible, but I could still tell I only feel more confident when I say something or write about something that I have previously learned from conversations, books, or movies. Sorry, my nose is very itchy. But in many occasions, I'm still supposed to create sentences or construct or assemble linguistic units together from scratch. And under such circumstances, I'm prone to make mistakes being guided by my subconscious Chinese mind. And sometimes when I talk to native speakers, I could see they look confused. And in those cases, I know I must have said something that is not native enough to make sense to native speakers. And to wrap everything up, learning vocabulary and calibrating expressions are accumulative processes, which means they not only take a lot of effort, but also take your patience and time. Recently, I'm trying to push myself harder in order to make some breakthroughs because I think I've hit a plateau and I'm not seeing like significant improvement in my English learning. But there's no rush. I think in language learning, effort is guaranteed to pay off. It's just a matter of time. And I think if I can do it, you can do it as well, and you might be able to do better than me. Alright, this is the end of this video. If you like it, please 一键三连, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.